Very nice, bravo. Okay, so for this, I would say that we would like to have a very nice overall sound. It's very good, and your sense of feel is very in line. For this, in general, actually, I like that you have really good voice, which is great. So this is like because it's an adagio. We tend to very often play one movement just to measure of the intent and the flow, right? But the head is actually a gain, right? Oh, yeah. Yes. Give that echo.
Does that work?
How's that? Yeah, that's better. Yeah, excellent.
Okay.
Thank you. So, so what was happening is that then, yeah. So in general, the quintet, right? The quintet is actually the fluid one, and actually, sort of for you for this movement, I would say basically the opposite of Jason, right? Like right here, I think that then you can be a little bit more expansive, so that then when you go then it doesn't feel like you're having to raise. Okay, so that then so let's think maybe in general just a little bit slower. Okay, then the next thing that is very important for us for today is the articulation. Okay, it's very clear, but maybe it's with my phone over here or whatever, but it's perhaps a little overly clear, so it feels a little heavy. That it's like ta 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 ta. Okay, and what you want to be make sure is that we have a little bit of room for it to be very loving. Okay, and for it to be a little bit nicer. So why don't we start at the beginning? Okay, see if we can. When you do do fa la, see if you can get a little bit more intensity in the air between the C and the F. Otherwise, we always get, and that not always pops out. So we have to be careful. Okay, so let's try. Very nice. Right. Now, the other thing is that for us that are in our clarinet, we have a couple of notes that, because of the kind of board that is polycylindrical, we have certain notes that we have to do little compromises. And one of them is that long C, because it bends from like just out of this last tone hole and then the bell, right? So we're sort of far. So in order for the clarinet to sound sort of okay for that intonation, then we have what we call a compromise note. So then that tone hole gives us what I call a flarp note. So it's flat on the bottom and sharp on the top. Not super flat. It ends up being flat but not horrible. So that then when we're on the top, it's a little sharp but not horrible, right? So it's a little. So what does that mean for the beginning? What that means is that if it's our fifth, on our F concert F for our F major, written F major for us, but it's like the A. So it's like the fifth fret, which is okay for it to write. But what you have to make sure that then you have to focus your F. Okay. So, so we have a good fourth. You cannot be. It's like it's too short, right? So for that, we have to make sure that our embouchure is nice and tight, and that we push. Even in the soft quiet, it's like you have to be thinking, oh, we are in the river, it's quiet, but there's that current of the stream, right? The current, it keeps the whole thing going. So that's how we need to have for the air. Fast air. And then for this one, for the next phrase, let's see if we can squeeze and release the fingers. Right, so then it's not. Yeah. I think that for security, you want. There's a little pop, so just a little like the tonguing is like that. It's not there, but there, there. That's right. It's always tricky. See if we can. You have to tank up beforehand, right? A whole three beats, 1, 2, 3, and then keep keep thinking that you have to push your thumb up. Okay, so then we don't get to clamp down, but it's going up to the teeth, right? So then it's not too tight. Very good, very good. Okay, sorry to stop so much in this beginning, but it's like it's impossible. Mozart, he was. I mean, people say he was a nice guy, but man, he wrote hard music. It seems nice, but it's sort of hard. So you see, now you get me an absolutely beautiful do fa, absolutely great, A plus. Then, because of those notes being so good, then it puts a lot of pressure on that A to be nice, which means that we have to match the colors. We're gonna go. No. Okay, so let's try. Excellent. Beautiful. Very good. Now, that's absolutely great. Way better. How does that feel? Does it feel okay, or is it a
Yeah,
little
no,
bit?
that feels fine. It
Good.
feels like I don't know, I have like a lot more mouthpiece in,
Yeah.
but and my I don't know, it feels like my arm is kind of tensing up from like
Pushing up.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But it's not. It's just mostly for the first two notes. It's just to get us going, and then we can relax. It's supposed to be bringing up actually to create the opposite effect. So we don't go like this because this is pushing up. It's pushing up to the teeth. on the top, right? Which means that then it's releasing the pressure on the reed. And then once we get the reed vibrating and going, then all bets are off. Then you can play normal. Okay, so it's just get started, make sure that we're not biting, and then we go. Okay, so that's very good. Then it sounds absolutely great. Uh, then the end then of this phrase, um, actually, you know that Mozart puts the little 16 note, right? It's not, and then so the rhythm, and then you have the little 16 note, right? So he knows how to write mi re da da, right? So it's one of these weird things that we have to practice not being precise, so that then it doesn't sound. Any number of those, but no, dun, 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 right? So that's all. It's one of those you get to experiment. You'll find the ones that you like the best, and of course, since it comes a couple times, then you'll do it differently the next time for sure, right? So that's good. Then the next thing is, yeah. So that thing about the thumb up also is important for the next two entrances, right? For the So then we have the thumb note, and then we can keep those. Let's try. 2 and 3 and nice. Very nice, very nice. Now the other thing is that was very good for that note. Now once you get it, do si la sol fa si la sol si sol fa. Let's not forget that little appoggiatura. Those are the ones that when we're talking about uh, interpretation. Those are the ones that we call, this is our license. This is for you to have your signature call. Okay, so because it's not exactly precise, you can do it a little before, a little after, a little on, a little fast, a little slow. And so then but is to be also, because that is your little spot to shine, it has to be emphasized ever so slightly. Okay, so it doesn't sound. Did I play it? I don't know. I forgot. But any number of them, but it's not just so that then you feel free to be expressivo with it. Okay. Now, so when we get to the little development, then yes, this is one of the things that is very important to try to make sure that this is why the tempo has to be one in which the orchestra flows, and then you are sort of expansive on it. So that right. So then it's like not. Oh, then it creates a little bit of a little bit of a tension. Here we are just giving you a story here. Okay, so let's try it from there and see if we can go a little bit more relaxed. Yeah, if you're going to tone those, yeah, those have to be super light. Okay, I would say, I mean, in something like that, I would avoid engaging the tongue too much. If anything, you can do yee 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 like portato if you want to do that. For me, in my opinion, it's actually since you have all the flourish. Okay, I would just contrast that. So then I have so those I would go for the slur and not too bumpy. Okay. Right. So I mean, uh, you have the thing that is great about good, great, fantastic music is that you have many options. Okay. The also the dangerous thing is that we do have so many options, and we have to also then become very much aware of what the style is or the performance practice, because since the music, certain music is such high quality that we could do things that are not very good musically, but it would still sound good because the music carries us. So we get a freebie, right? But we should not rely on the quality of the music to carry us through. We have to, with all humility and scholarship, try to figure out what are the things that work the best. So for that, we have the flourish, and then we have the singing. You see, so he's already preparing you for the soprano and the baritone register on the clarinet. Okay, so you have the singing and then the playful. Let's try it. Lovely. Very good, very good. Very nice. So the one thing that I would like to talk about a little bit for you. Yeah, go ahead and blow some air for that note. Okay. So the one thing that is important is to see if we can actually uh, sorry, I wanted to raise the volume here. Volume. Okay. Um, then what you have to be thinking is that uh, in this music, it's sort of interesting that the music is going very much stays in the same in the key, right? The thing that makes us get the little tears to the heart are those little passing notes. Okay, the ones that we have. Okay, uh, then we have appoggiatura, right? And then we go to the our turning. A little extra tartness that it gives me a little of a heartache that is delicious, right? So it's important to try to bring those out a little bit more, so that way, otherwise, it's a little too glossed over. Okay. Okay, let's try that. So, re. Yes. Very good. So, oh yes. So before we go, the most important thing I want to go over with you is the issue of the trills, especially in the slow classical style. So for this, especially in our concerto, we um, the traditional way to get to the trill is an expansion of the rhythm that you were playing before. Okay, meaning like in here, the trill you should start it like sort of like the same sextuple rhythm that you're using. Plus, we have the trill, especially coming from the note above. Especially if your melody is above the trill, and then you're going, okay, so that then right? So we don't have to trill that fast, but especially if we and then we have to show that little upper neighbor, okay? So right, you see, so it's basically the same trill, but because we had that appoggiatura that we're doing a little bit, then that trill we're already behind in the sextuple, right? So that creates the momentum, and then uh, as we do a little bit of crescendo toward the tonic, then if we have it within us, then we could, if it's not too difficult, then we speed it up a little bit there. But you see, you don't want because we are sort of stuck, right? The trill is to add intensity, right? So it has to be a combination of speed and volume. Okay, but don't get don't get faster than the actual volume, because while you're doing it, go into the phrase, right? So that is just a little extra shine. So let's try one more time. Okay? Yes, that is actually the idea. You see what I mean? So it is always that one is this one is always a little tricky. Not as tricky as this one or this one, but still tricky. So what we need to do is just spend a little bit of time, just working on those little trills, okay? And then the last thing is when we get to the coda, okay, make sure uh, that you have a little bit of time, so that then that's why it's important not to be too fast, so that then you go. You don't want okay. You always have time. Let's try that. Do mi fa la do. That's what I'm talking about. Excellent, and I appreciate you going for the Trill and everything. That's very good. Excellent. All right. Any questions?
Um, how I did want to ask that switch from the B flat to the C sharp. I don't know. That's not as smooth as I've heard it. So how would I make that smoother?
Yeah. So this one is unfortunately this is one of those annoying ones in the French clarinet. In the German clarinet, they usually go re fa sol si. Their B flat is here, so then it's an easier. You see, that's one of the few times that playing the German one is easier. Most of the time it's harder, but that one is like that. So because of that, yeah, we just have to practice that, 6 or 7 thousand times per day. It's just like one of those annoying ones. And in order to get the position to work better, what you can do is start practicing from the C sharp down. So instead of going from B flat to C sharp, start C sharp down. So that then you have this position right. Okay. All right. So it's just, it's just a matter of, 6 or 7 thousand times, and then it's all there already.